Hello, everyone. Welcome to America's Audit Update from the Republican Party of Arizona. I am your chairwoman, Dr. Kelli Ward, and yes, this is our second update today. We could not put this off until tomorrow. The public has got to know what's happening. We have just witnessed a political circus unparalleled in the history of Arizona, in my opinion. A small group of elected officials from Maricopa County who view themselves as above the law, above review, above reproach, just held a press conference in really a circle the wagon effort to protect their backsides, while at the same time launching a broadside attack against the Arizona Senate, against Arizona voters, against the Republican Party, against individual Arizona legislatures, and basically against anyone who disagrees with them. In the guise of protecting the election officials of Maricopa County from unfair attack, which has never happened, ever, their real motivation could not be more clear. Stop attacking them. Stop questioning their work. And above all, stop the audit. After all, don't you realize that what Dominion and the election office staff put in front of them looked just fine? Of course, our concerns from the very beginning stem from what was not put in front of them and may have even been kept from them. They want us to turn down the heat on them in regards to auditing the election so they can focus on what's important, according to Supervisor Gates. Supervisor Chukri said the board has too much to do to concentrate on what the people are crying out for. And in case you missed it, like Steve and like Bill seem to have done, election integrity is what we are crying out for. It's what we want. Supervisor Hickman basically said he'd rather be back on his egg farm. Democrat Gallardo chortled. He chortled with joy that his GOP comrades on the board are joining him in attacking Senate President Fan and the voters who want answers to their questions. And finally, Chairman Jack Sellers said he and the rest of them are going to ignore legislative inquiries and subpoenas. In other words, they'll all be willingly and willfully in contempt of the Arizona Senate's authority. Now, let me just ask you a couple of questions that many of us have been asking. Number one, who gives the authority to a handful of local elected officials to decide on their own what is good for the voters and what is not good? Number two, who gives these local officials the right to challenge the constitutional authority of the Arizona Senate and of the Arizona courts, which have from the very beginning upheld the right of the Arizona State Senate to proceed with this audit as it sees fit? Number three, they say they want to cooperate with the Arizona State Senate and they want to keep politics out of the mix. Well, if you actually listened to the press conference, there was no talk, zero talk of cooperation and a whole lot of political attacks, pointing of fingers and dodging of responsibilities, and a bunch of holier-than-thou elitists preaching to worried voters about what they should and should not be concerned with. Did you hear any answers to the very concerning questions that were asked by Senator Fan? I certainly didn't. Number four, why? Why would the sheriff of Maricopa County enter the fray as a member of law enforcement in uniform, not as an individual, to attack the validity of an Arizona court-approved audit being conducted by duly elected members of the Arizona Senate? It really calls into question not only his judgment, but his independence as a law enforcement officer. His rant against political theater is really the height of hypocrisy when he just engaged in a press conference that was nothing but political theater. He even admitted he has limited knowledge of the election process, and he could not answer a reporter's question as to how his officers would be in danger, how they could be endangered in regard to digital routers that the courts have ordered the county to turn over to the Arizona Senate, an order which they have contemptuously ignored. Number 5, why do these local officials think that they alone are acting in good faith, while at the same time questioning the motives and the character of those who disagree with them? And people who disagree with them are individuals elected to local, state, and federal office who represent Arizona constituencies with real uncertainty about the integrity of our elections. It is clear, crystal clear, that members of the Maricopa Board of Supervisors, Sheriff Paul Penzone, Recorder Stephen Richard, and others will not be attending the scheduled meeting tomorrow on Tuesday as requested by the Arizona State Senate. Every single individual who spoke at this press conference has made it very clear that they will not entertain questions from any individual or organization that questions their work or their motivations. In their eyes, they are indeed above reproach, and they will boldly tell you that if you dare to challenge their perfection. Now, in spite of their political shell game, this audit will not end until it is indeed completed, and we have the questions we've been asking answered. We have never predicted or attempted to undermine whatever the outcome is of this full forensic audit, as these elected officials have from the very beginning. We just want the audit to continue. We want to have our questions answered, and we want to have our confidence in our elections restored. Isn't that what we all should want? Now, I thank you for tuning in again today for the second time and for bringing the heat to drain the swamp. Please share this update because you know the mainstream media won't, and I know I'll see you at our next update. Have a great night.